As a retired doctor with over 40 years of experience working with seniors, I've seen it all. And I have a question for you that might shake your perception of aging. Why do so many elderly people, seemingly in perfect health, quietly slip away before reaching 82? It's not heart disease, cancer, or some catastrophic accident. No, the cause is far more silent and far more dangerous. It's something that, despite being so crucial, is often overlooked by the very people it affects the most and even the doctors who should know better. I've spent decades caring for thousands of patients, helping them add life to their years, not just years to their life. But despite all the technology, all the research, all the tests, there's one thing I've learned that most people miss. The hidden key to longevity after 60 is not found in your blood pressure numbers, cholesterol levels, or even in your fitness routines. It lies in something deeper, something that society has told us to ignore as we get older. And it's exactly this disconnection from something so fundamental that can quietly steal our vitality, robbing us of the energy and zest for life that we deserve in our later years. Let me ask you this: have you ever felt that over time, your body no longer responds the way it used to? Maybe it's a slow, steady decline that you can't quite put your finger on. You wake up one day and realize that you're not as lively, as engaged, as physically connected to your own body as you once were. You're not alone in feeling this. I've seen it in the faces of countless elderly patients, people who once radiated energy and life, but now carry a quiet sadness behind their eyes. It's not their heart that failed them, nor their bones that crumbled. It's something far more insidious, a loss of connection that slowly pulls them into the shadows. You see, one of the most powerful, yet overlooked, aspects of aging is this: the loss of physical pleasure. The very act of feeling alive, feeling connected to your body, is something that fades too often as we age. And this isn't something people like to talk about. In fact, many seniors feel ashamed of it, ashamed to seek or enjoy physical pleasure in their later years. Society has fed us the dangerous lie that once you hit a certain age, intimacy, touch, and sexual expression no longer belong to you. This disconnection from physical pleasure doesn't just affect your mood or your emotional well-being, it impacts your physical health in ways you might not even realize. As your doctor, I'm here to tell you this: the very act of reconnecting with your body, rediscovering those sensations, can be a game changer. It's not just about intimacy with a partner, it's about reconnecting with yourself. That simple act of feeling alive again can ignite a whole cascade of positive changes in your body. Blood flow increases, hormonal balance is restored, mental sharpness returns, and even your immune system gets a boost. It's a rediscovery of vitality, and I've seen it work wonders, even in patients well into their 80s and 90s. But here's the catch: most people don't know that it's possible, and even fewer talk about it. That's why, in today's video, I want to show you how this lost connection is one of the most silent, yet devastating, threats to your health and how you can begin to reverse it starting right now. The best part: you don't need expensive medications, exhausting workouts, or complicated diets to make it happen. All you need is to wake up to the fact that you already have the tool within you to feel vibrant, independent, and mentally sharp again, and I'm here to show you how. Before we dive in, if this topic speaks to you, if you felt that slow drift from vitality, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. By subscribing, you'll be supporting this channel, and you'll be the first to hear about more life-changing advice that can help you stay strong, vibrant, and independent as you age. Now, let me ask you a question, one that I want you to think deeply about and comment on in the section below. Your answer might give you more insight into where you are on this journey to reclaiming your vitality. Question: do you believe physical pleasure becomes irrelevant as you age? A yes, I think it's just a part of life that fades. B no, I believe it's essential to maintaining health and happiness. Leave your answer in the comments below, and let's get a conversation started. As a retired doctor with over 4 decades of experience working with seniors, I've seen countless faces, some full of life and others that have slowly faded, not because of illness or disease, but because of a far more silent and insidious factor. The one thing that most people don't talk about and most doctors overlook is the loss of connection with our bodies, especially the physical pleasures that once made us feel vibrant, alive, and connected to the world around us. This disconnection is so subtle, so gradual, that many seniors don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. For years, I've been sitting in consultation rooms with elderly patients, listening to their stories of fading energy, a diminishing sense of joy, and a feeling that life has become smaller, colder, and more distant. When I look into their eyes, I see a silent sadness, a quiet resignation to the idea that their best years are behind them, that their bodies no longer matter in the same way they once did. But here's the truth I've learned. This sadness doesn't come from natural aging. It comes from losing touch with the very essence of life, our ability to feel joy, connection, and yes, physical pleasure. We live in a world that tells us that physical pleasure, whether from intimacy with a partner or from ourselves, belongs only to the young. Society has ingrained this belief into our culture, convincing us that as we age, we must close the door on certain aspects of our humanity. But let me tell you something that I've witnessed in my years of practice. This belief is not only harmful, but it's also a lie. The truth is, as we age, our need for physical connection doesn't disappear, it evolves. The body is still capable of feeling joy, pleasure, and connection, but only if we allow it, nurture it, and prioritize it. The disconnection I'm talking about isn't just about sexual pleasure, it's about feeling our bodies. It's about being present with ourselves, connecting deeply with the sensations and pleasures our bodies are still capable of. When we stop acknowledging this need, when we allow the societal narrative to convince us that pleasure is a thing of the past, we begin a slow, invisible decline. Blood flow to vital organs decreases, our hormones shift in the wrong direction. Neural pathways tied to pleasure begin to atrophy. The physical and emotional toll this takes on the body is staggering. It's not just a matter of feeling less joy. It's a matter of losing the very essence of vitality. I've seen the effects of this disconnection firsthand. I've sat with men and women in their 70s and 80s, people who were once full of energy, enthusiasm, and joy, but who now feel as though their bodies have betrayed them. Their hearts may still beat strong, their lungs still draw breath, but something within them has gone quiet. They no longer feel alive in the way they once did. This loss of pleasure isn't just about the physical act of intimacy, it's about the absence of the vitality that makes life worth living. The consequences of this disconnect go beyond mood and energy. It affects everything from the way we sleep to the way we interact with others. It impacts our immune system, leaving us more vulnerable to illness. It can lead to conditions like heart disease, depression, and even dementia. But the most tragic part is that most people don't even realize the cause of their decline. They believe it's just part of getting older, but it's not. The truth is, when we stop engaging with our bodies, when we stop seeking pleasure, we stop nourishing the very systems that keep us alive and thriving. The good news is that reconnecting with our bodies doesn't require a miracle. It doesn't require surgery or expensive medications. It simply requires awareness, intention, and the willingness to open ourselves up to what our bodies are still capable of. It's about remembering that intimacy, whether shared with a partner or experienced alone, is a vital part of who we are, no matter how old we get. As a doctor, I've spent my career helping people reclaim their health, their vitality, and their joy. But as a retiree, I now spend my time reflecting on the wisdom that comes with age and the lessons I've learned along the way. And the most important lesson I've learned is that physical pleasure, whether it's through intimate touch, self-care, or simply feeling the joy of movement, is essential to our well-being. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. If you've ever found yourself feeling disconnected from your body, if you've ever wondered why your energy seems to fade as you age, I want you to know this: it's not too late to reconnect. Your body is still capable of great things. It's still capable of feeling pleasure, joy, and vitality. All you need to do is give it the chance. The first step is simply to acknowledge that pleasure, no matter your age, is part of a healthy, vibrant life. And the second step is to start reclaiming it. In the coming sections, I'll share some practical advice on how to begin this journey of reconnection. But for now, I want you to know that the most powerful thing you can do for yourself right now is to believe that you still have the ability to feel pleasure and joy. It is not something that fades with time, it is something that can be rediscovered, nurtured, and expanded. Take a moment and think about this. How many areas of your life have you disconnected from because you thought it was too late? What would happen if you reconnected to those parts of yourself, starting with your physical pleasure? The answer might surprise you. And so, I leave you with this: don't let the myth of aging take away your right to feel alive. Reconnect with your body, honor it, and embrace the pleasures that are still waiting for you. Because when you do, you'll not only regain your vitality, you'll reclaim the very essence of life itself. As a retired doctor, I have spent over 4 decades treating and guiding patients through the later years of life, and through my years of practice, I've come to realize a truth that many people shy away from. A truth that could greatly impact the health and longevity of those over 60. Self-pleasure, or masturbation, plays a significant role in maintaining your health as you age. Now, this might be uncomfortable for some to hear, but let me tell you, it's not just a matter of sexual desire or fleeting pleasure. It's about preserving your vitality, your emotional balance, and even your cognitive function. Let me share something important with you. After the age of 60, many changes take place in the body. Circulation decreases, muscle tone diminishes, hormone production slows down, and the brain starts to experience a decline in the electrical activity that keeps our thoughts sharp and clear. But here's where the role of self-pleasure becomes incredibly important. Regular self-pleasure can counteract many of these effects. It's not just a nice-to-have activity, it's a vital one for your health. This isn't just my opinion, it's backed by research and the countless transformations I've witnessed in my patients. When you engage in self-pleasure, your body responds in ways that benefit you far beyond the immediate physical release. One of the key benefits is improved circulation. Regular sexual activity, even when solo, helps to increase blood flow throughout your body. For the heart, this is especially important. It helps keep the cardiovascular system in better shape as it promotes blood flow to vital organs. This isn't a small effect, it's fundamental to maintaining good health. Think about it. Your heart and arteries need regular stimulation to stay flexible and strong. Just like any other muscle, if you don't use it, it becomes weak and inefficient. And then there's the impact on your hormones. As we age, we naturally experience a decline in hormone production, particularly testosterone in men and estrogen in women. These hormonal shifts are part of the aging process, but they don't have to define your quality of life. Masturbation has been shown to raise testosterone levels, which in turn helps to maintain muscle mass, bone density, and emotional resilience. As you may know, these are all crucial for aging gracefully. The decline in testosterone is often associated with symptoms like fatigue, depression, and loss of muscle tone. By engaging in self-pleasure, you give your body a natural boost, something that no pill or prescription can replicate in the same way. But let's not overlook the most vital part of all this, the brain. As a doctor, I've always been fascinated by the brain's incredible ability to adapt, but even more so as we age. We often hear about how brain function declines with age, leading to forgetfulness, poor cognitive function, and in some cases, dementia. However, self-pleasure has an extraordinary impact on the brain. It stimulates multiple areas of the brain, including those that are responsible for memory, emotional regulation, and executive function. In other words, it helps keep your brain sharp, engaged, and youthful. Studies have shown that sexual pleasure activates regions of the brain associated with memory, learning, and emotional well-being. This means that by engaging in self-pleasure, you are not just satisfying a physical need. You are also supporting your mental clarity, emotional stability, and even your creativity. I've seen it firsthand, patients who remain active in their physical pleasure, even in their later years, often display sharper thinking, a brighter outlook on life, and a more positive attitude than those who resign themselves to withdrawal. Their creativity flourishes, they engage more with others, and they find joy in the small things that once seemed insignificant. The brain, much like any other organ, thrives when it is used. And self-pleasure, while often overlooked, is one of the most potent exercises for keeping the brain engaged, flexible, and alive. Another aspect to consider is the emotional benefits. As we age, many of us experience a decline in our emotional resilience. Loss, grief, loneliness. These are all challenges that can take a toll on our emotional well-being as we grow older. Yet, self-pleasure offers a deeply personal and intimate way to connect with ourselves, to affirm our bodies and our worth. It is a practice of self-care, of self-love. This may sound trivial to some, but in my experience, this act of honoring one's body has a profound impact on mental and emotional health. It reminds you that you are deserving of joy, pleasure, and connection, no matter your age. When you neglect this part of yourself, when you let the idea of aging steal your sense of vitality, you close the door to an essential piece of what makes us human, our connection to pleasure, to our senses, to the very act of being alive. But when you embrace self-pleasure, when you allow yourself to experience those sensations and reconnect with your body, you open that door again, letting in all the benefits that come with it. This can be life-changing. It can restore a sense of confidence, a sense of aliveness that many seniors mistakenly believe is beyond their reach. You might be wondering, why is it so hard for many older adults to maintain this practice? Why do so many feel guilty or uncomfortable with the idea of self-pleasure after a certain age? It's not surprising. We live in a world that tells us that aging is synonymous with decline, that our worth and vitality diminish as we grow older. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Our culture has conditioned us to associate pleasure with youth and to believe that once we hit a certain age, those pleasures no longer matter. This belief is a myth, and it's one that we need to challenge if we are to live our later years with health, vitality, and joy. As a doctor, I can tell you that the most important step in reclaiming your health and vitality is believing that it is still possible. It's not too late to reignite that connection to your body. Your body is still capable of incredible things. It's still capable of feeling, of responding, of loving. And by embracing self-pleasure, you are not only supporting your body but also your mind and your spirit. So, I urge you, don't let the myths of aging take away your right to experience pleasure. Reconnect with your body, give it the attention it deserves, and rediscover the joy that's still waiting for you. You'll be amazed at what can happen when you do. And remember, it's never too late to start. As a retired doctor with decades of experience in treating and caring for seniors, I've come to realize something important. Many of the challenges faced by the elderly are not just physical. They are deeply rooted in misconceptions, misunderstandings that slowly erode vitality, happiness, and well-being over time. These misconceptions are powerful, often silently convincing seniors to abandon vital aspects of their health, leading them down a path of decline that could have been avoided. As a doctor, I feel a deep responsibility to shed light on these myths, to help you understand how they might be limiting your life and how you can break free from them. One of the most common misconceptions I've encountered in my years of practice is the idea that after a certain age, physical pleasure and intimacy no longer matter. "I'm too old for that," many of my patients have said, with a resigned smile. I can see it in their eyes, the sadness, the acceptance that life has somehow become smaller, less connected. And yet, the truth is far different. Aging does not erase the body's need for physical connection. What aging does is change how we express it. The body may not respond in exactly the same way as it once did, but it is still capable of experiencing pleasure, intimacy, and connection. To believe otherwise is to close the door on something essential to our well-being. I've witnessed this firsthand in my practice. When seniors begin to believe that physical pleasure is irrelevant or inappropriate for them, they start to withdraw. They stop seeking connection, not just with others, but with themselves. The body, deprived of touch, begins to lose its vitality. But when they reclaim that part of themselves, when they realize that their body is still deserving of affection, joy, and touch, something remarkable happens. They start to feel more alive, more engaged with the world around them. This doesn't mean that they have to return to youthful levels of sexual activity or intimacy. It simply means that they've acknowledged that they are still worthy of the connection their body craves, no matter their age. Another harmful misconception that I've encountered time and again is the belief that self-pleasure is somehow shameful or inappropriate for older adults. For many people, especially those who grew up in more conservative times, the idea of self-pleasure was something whispered about in hushed tones, never openly discussed. This stigma can create deep feelings of guilt and shame, even as the body continues to crave the release and connection that self-pleasure provides. But let me tell you something that I've seen over and over again. Self-pleasure is not only natural. It is an essential part of maintaining health as we age. It helps to keep our bodies in tune, to maintain blood flow, and even to regulate hormones. It is, in many ways, an act of self-care, acknowledging and honoring your body's needs. I've spoken with so many elderly patients who have told me they feel guilty about taking the time for themselves, guilty about nurturing their own bodies. But when I explain to them that caring for their bodies, including engaging in self-pleasure, is not a selfish act, it's a healing one, they begin to see things differently. The guilt melts away, replaced with a sense of relief. Their bodies respond in ways they hadn't anticipated. They feel less fatigued, more energetic, and even more emotionally stable. The physical and emotional benefits of self-pleasure cannot be overstated. It is a practice that nurtures both the body and the spirit. The third misconception that can rob seniors of their vitality is the belief that by conserving sexual energy, they will preserve their strength. This idea is often rooted in the belief that sexual activity drains energy, and that by abstaining from it, you're somehow saving your strength for other activities. The truth is, just like any other system in the body, your sexual health needs regular activation to stay strong. It's like a muscle that needs to be exercised. If you don't use it, it becomes weaker. Regular sexual activity, including self-pleasure, helps to preserve circulation, maintain tissue health, and support hormone regulation. It's not about conserving energy, it's about keeping the body's systems functioning optimally. I've seen this misconception affect many seniors, especially those who have internalized societal beliefs about aging and sexuality. They worry that engaging in sexual activity, even if it's just with themselves, will somehow wear them out or take away from their energy. But when I help them understand the truth that regular sexual activity is a vital part of maintaining overall health, they often experience a remarkable shift. Their energy levels increase, their mood improves, and they feel more capable of engaging with life. The idea that abstaining from sexual pleasure preserves strength is simply not backed by biology. In fact, it's the opposite. Perhaps the most damaging misconception of all is the belief that sexual health is somehow separate from overall health. We've been conditioned to think that physical pleasure and intimacy are secondary to other aspects of health, like diet and exercise. But nothing could be further from the truth. Sexual health is deeply intertwined with physical, emotional, and mental health. When we neglect our sexual health, we also neglect other areas of our well-being. The body is a system, and when one part is neglected, the rest suffers. I've witnessed many patients come to me, believing that their declining sexual health was just a normal part of aging, something they couldn't change. But what I've learned in my years of practice is that sexual health is not only important for pleasure, it's crucial for overall vitality. It affects everything from hormone balance to mood, to cognitive function. When we neglect this aspect of our lives, we open the door to a host of physical and emotional issues. But when we embrace and nurture it, we strengthen our overall health in ways that often surprise us. So, what's the solution? The first step is understanding that these misconceptions are not truths, they are myths that can be challenged. It's time to stop believing that physical pleasure, self-care, and intimacy have an expiration date. It's time to reclaim that part of ourselves that is so vital to our well-being. The second step is to take action. Reconnect with your body, honor its needs, and don't be afraid to seek pleasure, whether through intimacy with others or with yourself. Your body is still capable of incredible things, and by embracing that truth, you can live your later years with the vitality, joy, and fulfillment you deserve. As a doctor, I've spent my career helping people reclaim their health and vitality. But I've also spent it trying to help them let go of the limiting beliefs that hold them back. Don't let these misconceptions limit your life. You deserve to feel vibrant and alive, no matter your age. The choice is yours. As a retired doctor, I've spent many years treating patients, and over time, I've come to understand the importance of not just surviving in old age, but truly thriving. There is one aspect of health, however, that I've often seen overlooked, even though it's critical to maintaining vitality and well-being as we grow older: the restoration of sexual vitality. Now, Let me be clear, when I speak of sexual vitality, I'm not just talking about the physical act of intimacy. I'm referring to a holistic sense of well-being that comes from reconnecting with your body, reawakening your senses, and reigniting that vital life force that often fades as we age. Many seniors believe that this part of their lives is over, that their bodies no longer have the capacity for pleasure, connection, or intimacy. But nothing could be further from the truth. As I've seen time and time again, restoring sexual vitality can have profound effects on overall health, mental clarity, and emotional stability. So, how do we begin the process of restoring this vital connection to our bodies? Over my years of practice, I developed a simple, yet powerful, step-by-step method that can help you reawaken the body's natural responses and restore a sense of vitality that many thought was lost forever. I call it the restoration method, a gentle, compassionate approach to reconnecting with your body, nurturing it, and embracing the sensations and pleasures that are still within your reach. The first step in the method is preparation. Before anything else, you need to create a safe and comfortable space where you can relax fully, free from distractions. Many people overlook the importance of this, but I have found that creating a nurturing environment is critical to success. Dim the lights, set the room to a comfortable temperature, and ensure that you're alone or with someone you trust, where you can feel completely at ease. This is not just about physical space, it's about emotional and mental space. You need to set aside any feelings of guilt or shame, allowing yourself to feel worthy of the time and attention you're giving your body. Once you've established a comfortable space, the next step is relaxation. This is one of the most crucial parts of the process. Many people have lived with constant stress and tension for years, and when it comes time to reconnect with their body, they struggle to let go. You can't rush this part. It's not about performing or achieving anything. It's about being present with yourself. Start by breathing deeply, allowing your breath to flow in and out in a slow, rhythmic pattern. Feel your muscles soften, starting from your head and moving down to your feet. Let go of any tightness in your shoulders, your back, or your hands. Allow your body to become heavy, grounded, and relaxed. In this moment, focus on being in your body without judgment, simply noticing how it feels. Once you've relaxed, the next step is awakening. This is when you begin to gently explore your body, awakening the sensations that may have been dormant for years. I often hear from seniors that they don't know where to start, or they feel awkward about touching themselves. But let me assure you, this is a natural and necessary process. Start slowly and gently. Explore areas of your body that you may have neglected or avoided, the inner thighs, your chest, your arms. These are places that can hold a lot of pleasure, but only if you're open to feeling them. As you explore, let go of any expectations. This is not about getting to the goal or rushing through the process. Instead, it's about allowing your body to guide you, responding to what feels good, and noticing how your body reacts. If something feels pleasant, explore it more. If something feels uncomfortable, gently move away. The key is to approach this with curiosity and patience, without any pressure to perform or rush to the next step. The next part of the method is focused stimulation. At this stage, you'll begin to introduce more direct touch, but again, do so slowly and mindfully. Focus on areas of your body that feel particularly sensitive or pleasurable. Let your touch be gentle and pay attention to the responses your body is giving you. It's not about seeking immediate gratification. It's about enjoying the sensations as they come. It's important to avoid any sense of urgency or pressure. Allow your body to take its time and let the sensations build naturally. This is a deeply intimate process, not just with your body, but with yourself. As you touch and explore, remind yourself that you are deserving of this pleasure, no matter your age. Let go of any negative self-talk or self-criticism. This is your time to honor your body, to reconnect with it, and to experience the pleasures it can still offer. The final step in the restoration method is integration. This is when you take a moment to reflect on the experience. After you've allowed your body to awaken and experience pleasure, it's important to pause, breathe, and acknowledge the sensations you've felt. Gratitude is a powerful tool in this process. Take a moment to thank your body for what it's shown you, for what it's capable of. In this step, You don't rush or jump into the next activity. Instead, you savor the moment. Notice how your body feels afterward, perhaps lighter, more energized, or more relaxed. Let these feelings sink in, and know that each time you engage in this practice, you're not just reawakening your body, but also nurturing your mind and soul. This method is not about trying to recreate the past or pushing yourself to feel something you once felt. It's about meeting your body where it is now, accepting the changes that come with aging, and honoring the wisdom that comes with age. Every time you engage in this practice, you're sending a message to your body that it's still worthy, still alive, and still capable of feeling pleasure and connection. Remember, the goal of the restoration method is not to perform or achieve perfection. It's about reconnecting with your body, awakening those sensations that have been hidden for too long, and nurturing your own well-being. This is your body's natural rhythm, and when you honor it, you unlock the potential for greater health, vitality, and happiness in your later years. I've seen the difference it makes in my patients when they embrace this process. They begin to feel more engaged with life, more confident in themselves, and more connected to their own bodies. The restoration method is not just a way to reclaim your sexual vitality, it's a way to reclaim your life. Every step you take toward this practice is a step toward a more vibrant, joyful existence, one that honors the incredible resilience and wisdom you have gained over the years. Now, as you start this journey, remember, this is a personal path, one that is unique to you. Take your time, be gentle with yourself, and know that each moment of reconnection brings you closer to a life full of vitality, peace, and pleasure. Your body is still capable of incredible things. Now it's time to rediscover them. As I sit back in my chair, reflecting on the decades I've spent in medicine, there's one truth that stands out above all the others. It's never too late to reclaim the right to thrive. For so many years, I've witnessed patients resign themselves to the belief that their best years are behind them, that the vitality they once had is something they've lost forever. But as a doctor with decades of experience, I can tell you that this is not the truth. Your body, mind, and spirit can still be restored, no matter your age. The journey to reclaiming that vitality isn't about turning back the clock. It's about honoring the wisdom of the years you've lived and using that wisdom to build a life full of health, joy, and fulfillment. I've often heard my patients say, "I feel like I'm just fading away." They tell me their bodies no longer respond the way they used to, and their energy is depleted. They feel like their bodies have betrayed them, as if age has taken something precious from them. But as a doctor, I can assure you, age doesn't take away vitality. What happens is that we stop engaging with our bodies in the way we used to. We stop nurturing our bodies, minds, and spirits, thinking that the energy we once had is a thing of the past. The truth, however, is that by reconnecting with ourselves physically, emotionally, and mentally, we can awaken that life force again, and perhaps even in ways we never thought possible. For so many people, the idea of growing older often comes with the belief that pleasure, intimacy, and physical vitality are things of youth. Society has ingrained this idea that once you cross a certain age threshold, it's inappropriate or unnecessary to care about your body's pleasures. But let me tell you from the heart of my experience, your body still craves connection, still yearns for intimacy, still deserves to feel alive. There's no expiration date on vitality. And by reawakening that connection through touch, through movement, through pleasure, you're not only honoring your body, but also honoring the years you've lived. One of the most powerful realizations I've come to after all these years is that we often overlook the immense value of the simple act of reconnecting with our bodies. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, in the roles we play as caregivers, parents, or workers. It's easy to lose sight of ourselves in the process. But what I've learned as a doctor is that when we reconnect with ourselves, when we embrace the fact that we are still worthy of pleasure, still capable of joy, we open up a world of possibility. This isn't just a feel-good concept, there's science behind it. The act of reconnecting with our bodies boosts blood flow, enhances hormone levels, sharpens cognitive function, and improves our emotional well-being. It's not just about feeling good in the moment, it's about rebuilding the foundation for health and vitality that lasts a lifetime. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You may be wondering, but what about the inevitable decline? Isn't it too late for me? I've heard these doubts countless times, and I understand them. Growing older brings inevitable changes, but let me tell you something. Those changes don't have to mean the end of vitality. They don't have to mean the end of joy. They don't have to mean the end of pleasure. You have the ability, at any age, to reclaim your right to feel vibrant, to feel alive. The key is to stop believing that aging is something to fear or to accept passively. Aging is a process, yes, but it's also an opportunity. An opportunity to live more deeply, to rediscover yourself, to honor the wisdom you've accumulated over the years, and to embrace your body's capacity for growth and joy. When I see my patients take the first steps toward reconnecting with their bodies, whether it's through reawakening physical pleasure, engaging in mindful movement, or simply giving themselves the time and space to nurture their health, I see their transformation. It's not just about physical changes, although those are certainly important. It's about their emotional resilience, their mental clarity, and their ability to engage with life again. They begin to feel more confident, more hopeful, and more engaged with the world around them. And let me tell you, there's nothing more rewarding as a doctor than witnessing that transformation. The moment when someone realizes that they are still capable of living with joy, with vitality, with passion, no matter their age. But I also know that it's not always easy. We live in a world that tells us to fear aging, that tells us to let go of our dreams and desires as we get older. We're taught to believe that physical pleasure, intimacy, and vitality are only for the young, and that once we cross a certain threshold, it's no longer appropriate or possible to experience those things. But I am here to tell you, with the knowledge of a lifetime of medical experience, it is possible. You can live a life of vitality at any age. You can experience pleasure, joy, and connection if only you believe it's possible. If only you allow yourself to reconnect with your body, to give yourself the love and care you deserve. You may be asking, how do I begin? The answer is simple, though not always easy. You start by believing that you still have the capacity to feel alive, to feel connected to yourself and the world around you. You start by rejecting the myths that aging means fading away, and instead, embracing the truth that aging can mean a deeper, richer connection to life. It starts with small steps, allowing yourself to explore, to reconnect with your body, to embrace the pleasures that are still available to you. You don't need to do everything at once. Just take the first step. Trust that your body still has the ability to feel, to connect, to thrive. As a doctor, I've spent my career helping people reclaim their health. But as I look back on my life now, I realize that the most important thing I can offer is the message that it is never too late to thrive. You have the right to feel alive, to feel joy, to feel connected. It is not about turning back time, it's about embracing the time you have, making the most of it, and reclaiming the vitality that is still within your reach. So, I leave you with this. Don't let the fear of aging steal your right to live fully. Don't let the myths and misconceptions of aging rob you of your vitality. Reclaim your body, reclaim your life, and remember that it's never too late to thrive. Your best years are not behind you. They are still ahead of you, waiting to be lived. Choose today to embrace them. As we move through life, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that aging is something that takes away from us our vitality, our joy, and even our ability to experience life fully. The societal narrative often teaches us that once we pass a certain age, we are no longer capable of feeling the same pleasures, desires, and experiences we once did. But the reality is that aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean growth, rediscovery, and a deeper connection with the life you've lived and the years ahead. The core message I've shared with you throughout this conversation is simple yet profound. It is never too late to reclaim your vitality. As a doctor with decades of experience, I have witnessed firsthand the incredible transformations that can happen when people reconnect with their bodies, when they embrace the pleasure, intimacy, and joy that is still within their reach, regardless of age. The physical and emotional benefits of doing so are immense, and they extend far beyond just the immediate sense of gratification. Restoring your connection to your body through touch, through self-care, through seeking physical pleasure can breathe new life into your entire being. It can bring back your energy, your mental clarity, your emotional resilience, and even improve your physical health. When you feel connected to your body, you begin to feel more connected to the world around you. You engage more deeply with the people you love, with your passions, and with life itself. The restoration method that I have shared is not a quick fix, it's a journey. It's about taking small, deliberate steps to reawaken your senses, nurture your body, and embrace the joy and pleasure you deserve. It's not about trying to turn back the clock, it's about using the wisdom that comes with age to live more fully, to reconnect with the pleasures and experiences that are still available to you. Whether it's through self-pleasure, intimate connection with others, or simply being present with yourself, the act of reclaiming your vitality is empowering. It's an affirmation that you are still worthy of joy, of health, and of happiness. The lesson here is that aging does not have to be a process of loss, it can be a process of gaining. It's a time to rediscover yourself, to embrace the parts of you that may have been neglected or forgotten, and to cherish the ability to feel alive. No matter how old you are still capable of experiencing new levels of vitality and connection. The key is to open yourself up to the possibility, to allow yourself to feel worthy of the pleasures and joys that life has to offer, no matter your age. So, how can you apply this lesson to your life today? The first step is simple. Start by acknowledging that you deserve to feel vibrant, connected, and joyful. Whether you've been feeling disconnected from your body, from yourself, or from others, take the time to reconnect. Explore what brings you joy, what makes you feel alive, and give yourself permission to enjoy it. Let go of the societal messages that tell you it's too late for you, and instead, embrace the truth that your life can still be full of pleasure, connection, and vitality. Make a conscious effort to nurture yourself, both physically and emotionally. Whether it's through practicing self-care, engaging in mindful activities, or simply allowing yourself to relax and enjoy the small moments, take the time to honor your body and your mind. And most importantly, remember that it's never too late to start this journey. No matter where you are in life, there is always an opportunity to reconnect with the energy and vitality that resides within you. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. After hearing this message, do you feel inspired to reconnect with your body and embrace the vitality that's still available to you? Or do you think it's too late for you? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love for you to share your perspective, as it will help others who might be in the same place you are. And before you go, if you found this message meaningful and you'd like to support this channel so I can continue sharing valuable content, please consider subscribing and donating. Your support, no matter how small, will keep this channel alive and give me the motivation to keep creating content that can truly help people. Remember, I'm here because I want to give back to society, to share the knowledge and experience I've gained over the years. Your contributions will help me continue doing this important work. Thank you for your time and your support.